What if I told you that a simple inheritance could turn two loving sisters into bitter enemies, cost them over $50,000 in legal fees, and end with one sister living in a car while the other sits in their childhood home alone? Well, buckle up, because Sarah and Emma's story will make you question everything you thought you knew about family loyalty. This is ultimate family dramas, and what you're about to hear actually happened. Let me paint you a picture. Sarah, 34, married with 2 kids, working double shifts as a nurse. Emma, 29, single, just finished law school, drowning in student debt. Both grew up in the same modest 2-story house in suburban Ohio that their parents bought for $60,000 back in 1985. Fast forward to 2023, and that same house is now worth $200,000. Not bad, right? Here's where things get interesting. When their mom passed away last spring, she left the house to both daughters equally. 50-50 split. Seemed fair enough. But here's the thing about family fairness, it's like a house of cards. One wrong move and everything comes crashing down. Sarah wanted to sell immediately. She needed her half to pay off medical bills from her husband's cancer treatment. Emma? She had different plans. She wanted to keep the house, live in it, maybe rent out rooms to help with those crushing student loans. 2 perfectly reasonable positions that were about to create the most unreasonable war you've ever witnessed. "We can work this out like adults," Emma said during their first family meeting. Famous last words, am I right? Sarah agreed to let Emma buy out her half at fair market value, $100,000. Simple math. But Emma didn't have that kind of money. No problem, she'd get a mortgage, right? Wrong. Fresh out of law school with 6-figure debt, no steady income yet, and a credit score that looked like a bad report card. Every bank said no. Now, here's where Emma's legal training kicked in, and not in a good way. She discovered something called partition action, a legal process that forces the sale of jointly owned property when co-owners can't agree. But here's the twist. Emma figured out how to drag this process out for months, maybe even years, effectively blocking Sarah from getting her money while Emma lived rent-free in their childhood home. Sarah was furious. "You're holding my money hostage," she screamed during what would be their last civil conversation. Emma's response? "I'm protecting our family legacy." Family legacy. Let that sink in for a moment. Phase 1 of Emma's revenge? She hired lawyer number 1, James Morrison, specialist in property law. His job? Make the sale as complicated as possible. Suddenly, there were disputes about the property condition, arguments about fair market value, questions about who should pay for repairs that needed to be done before any sale. Sarah fought back. Enter lawyer number 2, Patricia Chen, litigation specialist. If Emma wanted to play dirty, Sarah would show her what dirty really looked like. Patricia filed countermotions, demanded property inspections, and started questioning Emma's right to live in the house during the dispute. But Emma wasn't done. Not even close. She discovered that their mother had made several improvements to the house over the years: a new roof, updated electrical, renovated kitchen. Emma claimed these improvements increased her sweat equity in the property because she had helped with some of the work during college breaks. Suddenly, she wasn't just entitled to 50%. She wanted 60%. That's when lawyer number 3 entered the picture. Robert Walsh, estate law specialist, brought in to determine the true value of Emma's claims. 3 lawyers, folks. 3 lawyers fighting over one little house. Here's where Emma's revenge plan really got diabolical. She started documenting every single flaw in the house. Loose floorboard in the hallway? Photographed and reported as structural damage. Stain on the kitchen ceiling from an old leak? Now it was evidence of water damage requiring extensive remediation. Emma was systematically destroying the property's value on paper while living in it rent-free. Sarah's life was falling apart. Medical bills piling up. Her husband back in chemotherapy. Kids needing school supplies she couldn't afford. And her sister? Living comfortably in their childhood home, eating meals in their mother's kitchen, sleeping in their parents' bedroom, while blocking Sarah from accessing the one lifeline that could save her family. The legal fees were mounting. Sarah had already spent $18,000 on Patricia Ch. Emma had burned through $22,000 between Morrison and Walsh. That's $40,000 in legal fees fighting over a $200,000 house. The math wasn't matching, but neither sister could back down now. Then came the discovery that changed everything. During the property inspection mandated by the court, they found their father's old safe hidden behind a false wall in the basement. Inside, their mother's real will. The updated one. The one that specifically stated the house should be sold immediately upon her death, and the proceeds split equally between her daughters to prevent any family disputes. Emma had known about this will all along. She had been the one helping their mother with legal documents. She had hidden it. Sarah's revenge was swift and brutal. She sued Emma for fraud, for legal fees, for emotional distress. She had Emma evicted from the house. She had her investigated by the State Bar Association for ethics violations before she even officially became a lawyer. But here's the thing about revenge, it's like a boomerang. It always comes back. The house finally sold 8 months later for $180,000. $20,000 less than its original value because of all the documented damage Emma had reported. After legal fees, court costs, and penalties, each sister walked away with $31,000. Sarah got her money, but it was too little, too late. Her husband had passed away during the legal battle. Her kids barely spoke to her because she'd been consumed with fighting her sister instead of being present for their grief. Emma? She never got her law license. The ethics investigation revealed her deception with the will. She's currently working at a coffee shop, living in a studio apartment, still paying off 3 different lawyers. But the real tragedy? 2 sisters who once braided each other's hair, shared secrets under blanket forts, and promised to always be best friends, they haven't spoken in over a year. So there you have it, folks. 2 sisters, 1 house, 3 lawyers, and a family destroyed forever. All over money that, when divided by the months of fighting, worked out to less than minimum wage for the emotional labor they put in. The scariest part? This story is playing out in families across the country right now. Money has a way of revealing who people really are, and sometimes what it reveals isn't pretty. What do you think? Was Emma justified in trying to keep the family home? Was Sarah wrong to push for an immediate sale? Or were they both victims of a system that turns grief into greed? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if this story made you think twice about your own family dynamics, hit that like button and subscribe to Ultimate Family Dramas for more true stories that prove reality is stranger than fiction. 'Cause trust me, we've got plenty more where this came from. Next week, we're diving into the case of the $1 million lottery ticket that destroyed 3 generations of a family. You won't want to miss that one. Till then, remember, family first, money second. But unfortunately, not everyone got that memo.